Hello, my name is Jessica Lidvez, and I'm here with David Campbell. He is a 25-year-old male currently working at a home improvement store. This interview is going to be about gender roles and how they can affect the other's way of living as well as in the workplace. The goal of this interview is to better understand what causes gender roles, and is it by the way an individual grows up and was taught a certain way to act, or can it be caused by the environment the person is working in and how others act around certain genders? Do you believe that there are any gender roles that people should be taught to follow?
Um, there are some, I believe, yeah, not all of them, not the whole boys are blue, girls are pink kind of thing, but something more realistic that doesn't make someone have to do something they can't do.
Do you believe that there are any jobs which only men or women can or should do?
Um, I think that men should be more physical labor jobs if they do arise, and women could be more higher functioning, intelligent jobs. Not to say that men are dumb and women are weak or anything like that. I think they just operate better in those scenarios.
Work for a male or a female boss?
I have both actually, and my female boss is a lot better than my male boss. My male boss, he struggles with like a compensation thing, which a lot of guys do. Where I'm the boss, I say it, I expect it done, no questions asked. With the female boss, she's a little more understanding when she tells me, I need you to make sure that your team gets this, this, and this done. If I only get two of the three done, then she understands that there's only so many hours in the day, problems arise. Sometimes we can't do everything. The male boss would just react negatively to it and then not try and get to the bottom of why or try and move things along and make things better for the future.
The way a person is raised can affect their gender identity.
Yes. Yeah. If a guy was raised by maybe like a bodybuilder kind of family, I can definitely see him being more of a tough, rowdy, don't get in my face kind of guy. While if a guy was raised by a more loving, caring family, then maybe he would be more open, more passive, a little easier to be around.
Dash changes for directions and why?
I'm going to say the women are. And I'm going to say they are because of the same compensation thing I was talking about before with the bosses. Men definitely have difficulties admitting they're wrong or saying they need help. For instance, the other day when I was at work, a guy had surgery on his shoulder, and he needed me to help him load some sheets of plywood in, which isn't a problem for generally anybody, man or woman. But he had surgery, so he couldn't do it himself. When I was done helping him put it all in his cart, he went on like a good 3 4 minute spiel about how normally I wouldn't ask for help. I didn't need it. It's just the surgery and everything, and I didn't think it was a big deal. I mean, asking for help isn't a problem to me personally, but some people see it as a sign of weakness, and most of those people are men.
Any difference between uh, how men and women drive?
Yes. I tend to see men drive more aggressively than women do. Women tend to be safer, tend to follow the rules a little better, um, go the speed limit, use a turn signal, um, be courteous of others, while men are just, I want to get to where I'm going and I'm going to cut off every guy I can to get there, and it's their problem, not mine. It's really limited. I grew up in the southern part of the state, so it's not something that I've ever encountered. I've heard about it. Um, I don't know. That's how people are. That's how they are. I have no problems with it.
Boys and girls are often play with different toys. Girls are usually given dolls, and boys often have toy guns. Is that because they prefer different toys or because we give them different ones? Does it matter, and should it be encouraged or discouraged?
Um, I don't think they prefer. I think kids just like to play with toys. It's something they can move around and keep their brains active and keep their attention and their focus. I don't think it matters either way for if we give the boy the toy gun or that we give the boy the doll or an action figure, whatever you want to call it. Um, it doesn't matter either way. I think it comes from more the parenting that we're getting. I know my dad would have given me toy guns, little toy soldiers, little tractors, all kinds of stuff like that. And my sister, he gave her dolls and everything. So no, I don't think it's necessarily the kid preferring one or the other. I think it's just what they were introduced to by the parent. And I think the parents of the our generation, for example, are a little more old fashioned. We would say all the dads would give their sons guns, and all the moms would give their daughters dolls. Just something that might be changing in the near future, but I don't know.
What sports can you think of where men and women compete against each other as equals?
I mean, I swam all throughout high school. That's the closest that I got to it being a competing against each other. Um, Even at that point, we had co-ed races, but at the same time, it was more of we had the males event and then we had the females event and go right after them, and it just keep going that way throughout everything. So I can't think of one where they're competing as equals.
Why are there fewer opportunities for women than men in the professional sports?
I was taught, I don't know if it's true or not, that men biologically have denser muscles than women, so there's more mass to them just naturally, an average man versus average woman. Or if you want to put a male athlete versus a female athlete, if they go through the same kind of training, um, I was taught that the male would still be stronger than the female would be, and that's why.
You're welcome.